Coming up on the next episode.
Good afternoon, YouTube, here at the bench once more. This is Friday, I believe, and what we are looking at is a new acquisition. Some of you may instantly recognize this from Greg's Vintage Workshop. I expressed an interest in this early on when he showed it, and he made it pretty clear in the video he had no use for it. We struck a deal, and I'm happy to say that I am the lucky recipient of it. And Greg, I don't know anybody that knows. Greg knows he travels a lot, or he did anyway when he was working. And then, but he did go back to North Carolina, I think, this past couple days. And he said on the way back we could make our swap. I traded him a couple of items for this, and he was happy. I was happy, I think. And as it stands now, I have this, and I think it will be a good addition to the bench. I never had a sweep generator before. I wanted one all along because of the FM alignments that some of them require. Now, not all of them require a sweep generator, but certain detectors and things like that do on the FM, and it depends on the type of a demodulator they use, and so that's why I wanted to get this, and now I have it. So I'm not going to do much with it today. I just wanted to show it to you, and it is a beautifully restored. Greg did an excellent job on this, as he does usually, and so I've got the, he left me with, I'm going to say 2.4 manuals. He gave me the original manual that he bought on eBay, I believe. And then he printed up one, a full one. And then there was another one partially printed, so he just gave me all of them. So, very happy about that. I'm going to read through that a little bit, and Bob's going to help me out with this. I think Bob's got one. Don't know if it's this type here, but he's got one, and he's going to be working on or looking at, and so hopefully this will help out a lot. And this is a heavy unit, so I don't know where I'm going to put it at yet. It'll probably go over on the other side of the bench somewhere. I obviously don't have room for it on this side. I wish I did, but looking at if I didn't have the tape deck up there, I could probably put it there and make that a good place to keep it. But at the same time, then where I put the tape deck. So I probably don't really need the tape deck there. I mean, it's not absolute need for taping things and stuff like that. So I don't know. We'll just have to think about it a little bit more, I guess. But I have been clearing the bench off. It's hard to tell right now from the mess that you probably can see in the corners out there. But I went through the whole bench looking for something the other day, and I just kind of cleaned up as I was going, and I have it down to a, well, I don't know, a dull roar, I guess, as far as what the mess is. But I think, like I said, I can make do or make progress from here, by having things organized a little bit better than they were. I just got to find my whole big thing all along is finding a place for things. After I do that, I have no problem. As you can see, the tools up there, well, you may not be able to see them, but up here on the pegboard, tools are all nice and neat and everything. And like I said, if I've got a place to put it, I put it. But if I don't, well, good example. I don't know if you can see on the side here, this bag of wire here, hookup wire. That needs a good place to go. Screws here I have next to it, and it's just all this stuff. Now I've got cabinets with screws, but I really don't want to put those in there because they don't fit in the drawers as far as labels on it, things like that. But again, I've got to find somewhere to put them, And once I do, then I'll be happier, I believe. So anyway, just taking time here to take a look at this. And I don't know, other than changing caps, I don't know, like I said, Greg, I believe, tried to run through the calibration or tried to use the crystal, and he did give me the crystal too. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. I don't know what the, like I said, I haven't read up on this at all, so I don't know. But I do, Bob did tell me that it could be operated as a standard signal generator if you wanted to, just by not incorporating the sweep function into it. I don't really know how you do that, but there's up here for the sweep range, there's 0 to 1,000 kilocycles, 0 to 10 megacycles, external device, it looks like, and device off. Maybe that's, okay, maybe that's it right there, off. Well, that'd be interesting, see if that works. The output's in the middle, I do know that. Some of the other things are not so clear. Hard to see too, with the lighting on the bench the way it is. So, but anyway, it's not bad. Not bad. I'll be able to do it. Again, like I said, there it is. And I'm going to leave you go for a while, and I'm going to do some other stuff and probably work more on the bench a little bit. But I just kind of wanted to show you, throw that out there, that I do have it now, and I was happy with the exchange and everything, like I said. And I hope Greg was as well. I don't like to trade something that people don't really want, but I think he was happy to get what he got, so I believe. And so, anywho, that's it. We'll see you in the next segment, I guess. And speaking of the next one up for grabs here, this is going to be our next radio project. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of a break in between the two radios, the RCAs, that I'm going to try to work on that tube tester, find out what the problem is with it so I can use it to test tubes. I've got a whole pile of them over there. I can see them, but to test. And this one I'm sure has octal tubes as well. This is from, I believe, 1948, around that period. And this is an 8R71 receiver, AM and FM. And one of the reasons I kind of latched onto this one is because it has a power transformer. Now, I used to working on anything but AA5 type radios, and this one is different in that respect because, like I said, it does have a power transformer. Let me put you up. You can see the dial up there and check that out. You can see it looks like it's got cracks, but I think those are just marks on the dial glass, and the dial glass is in pretty poor shape, as you can see. But again, if I have to, I'll buy one off of Radio Days or somewhere like that. And it looks like it's a nice complete radio, and like I said, other than the fact that it's got a power transformer, it's an AM and FM, early AM FM receivers. And this one is a one that goes all the way to the full band. Some of the earlier AM or FM receivers didn't go all the way up, but this one does, and kind of happy about that. And like I said, this is going to be our next radio project. And as I alluded to in the on the 66X1 that I was working on before, this is another similar radio. It's a RCA. So like I said, should be fun to look into this. I hope it's not as difficult to get through as the 66X1 was. Now on that radio, I want to explain something. Let me get you back here so you can get the full view again. Okay, I wanted to explain something on that. I'm not giving up on that radio, but I won't be making videos on every little thing I do to it. I've discovered over the course of my YouTube history, whatever, that people kind of lose interest after the third video on anything, and especially if it just keeps on, going basically with the same premise as far as the same problem and not curing anything. Even though you are working on it, and doing things to it, it's not the same as showing some kind of progress. So I will be working on that, and once I get it fixed, which I intend to fix it, like I said, I'll do it on the background though. I won't be doing it on YouTube. I will record some of the stuff I do for the next video, but again, like I said, it is on the back burner right now, and I just like to keep videos coming, and then, like I said, in order to do that, I've got to work on something else. Like, I just can't pull stuff out of my butt and put it up there. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, that's what's happening there. And again, this one here is, like again, to say, I hope it's going to be an easy one. And I haven't done any more to it than what you see. I did put the knob back on. I borrowed that knob for the other radio just to have something to put on the other dial or whatever. On-off switch seems to work pretty good. Sounds good anyway. That's about all you can go by. Let's see. That must be band select right there. And it does have a 3-position band selector. I'm assuming this probably has a phono input like the other one did. So that may be the reason for the 3 inputs other than AM and FM. There the dial pointer moves, although it's hard to see with that frosty faceplate, but it is moving in there, and so I'm assuming this is maybe tone. There's 2 positions, looks like, so high and low maybe on tone. So that's just a guess, but you know, this is the I'm trying to see. 8R71 is the maroon plastic. Maybe that is it, maroon plastic. So walnut plastic is 8R75. I don't know, like I said, I think that's what was listed as 8R71 in the eBay listing. So anyway, that's it. And again, I'll bring you along for the first tear into, and then we'll see what's wrong with it and how it's working, and we'll go for there. But I don't think I'm gonna power this one up. For one thing, it's got a replacement cord. Now that's not always a bad sign, but at the same time, you know, I think, if I remember correctly, they did plug this in, and it did work, but I don't think it worked very good or something. I'd have to look at the listing again. But again, I think that's the way it was. So we'll talk more about that when we do our initial first look and power up and things like that. But for right now, there's a look at what's coming up next after I do the tube tester. Now, the tube tester may not be a separate video. Depends on what I find. If it's just one loose wire or something I have to solder back on, I'm not going to waste everybody's time on that, but I will report what it is. And like I said, I just kind of wanted to show you what was coming up on the bench here before long, and go from there. So there you go. All right, as mentioned, I am going to take a look at this Knight 600 tube tester and see if I can figure out why the octal socket up here is not working. I'm hoping for a easy quick fix, like one wire broke off or something like that. I did go through this initially and check the, when I bought this, or when I should say when I bought it, when I got it for Christmas as a present, and I did recap it, and I think there was one cap in it, I think, but all the wiring looked good. So I didn't really mess with anything. So I'm going to go ahead and take all the screws out around through here, and we'll go from there. So join me back for that when we take it apart and see what's on the inside. Alright, we are inside now, as you can see, and this is the octal socket right here. And looking it over before I turned the camera on, I did not see anything that's broke off. All the wires seem to be soldered very fine, very, very well on there. And of course, now all these wires go to every socket. And what it is they're just certain. Let's see. There's if you look at the switches here, there's the green wires that look like they are the ones that control what tubes, and there's green wires on each end of that as well. But it looks like that's the ones that control which tubes are active, or which pins are active and which ones are not. So I'm going to have to go through all of those and check those, make sure there's not a bad connection there. And I think this is all pretty well soldered in the middle and probably on the ends as well. So like I said, when you switch it up and down and in the middle, that's just what makes or breaks the contact to the switches on all the tubes at the same time, actually. And so that's the way that works. But as just looking it over a little bit, I mean not a lot, I don't see anything bad. So I'm going to have to do a careful inspection and then find out what's what and where's where and where's who and who's how. I think what I'd like to do is find out the green wires don't seem to go all the way around. In other words, they go to one socket and then it turns into either orange wire or something like that, it looks like. So that's probably the ones we need to check, is basically find out which one it is and use the meter maybe or something to find out if it's making contact or something. Now the other thing is possible is this socket is just dirty, and I've got brushes to clean it out with. I should have done that first and then tried it, but I didn't. So I'm going to look at that really carefully and use a pick to kind of move things around a little bit to make sure that they are all secure, and they do look like they are. So see, now there's one that's just got one wire going to it. And I would think most of them would all have two wires going to it, but some of that one there does not. So I don't know what that means, if anything, but probably should get the schematic out on this. I've got one somewhere. But there's the one cap that I replaced. I did replace a couple of resistors as well, several of them as a matter of fact. I don't know how well you can see, but there are a few up there that's been replaced, and up there as well. So like I said, it is, it has been gone over, and again, this is just extra. So alrighty, let me get into it a little bit better and see if I can find out what's what, who's who, and how's that. Alright, back with you again. Now I did test all of the tubes for that radio. All of them tested well into the good except for one, the 12SG7. It tested right about in the middle. So there's your proof. That tube was not very good. So the new one tested to the roof. It was pegged the needle on the good. So that's a good indication that's how that's going to go. So anyway, that was what I wanted to do. What I may do, also what I did to this is basically I checked all the wiring. I poked around with a screwdriver and felt, make sure all the connections were good that I could see. And then I basically cleaned out the socket with my little brushes, and it started working. That's all I can tell you. It worked fine, no problem at all. So like I said, it's just turn this down 12. I'm gonna put the rest of the screws back in it, I think, and then set it somewhere close, because that RCA 8R71 is gonna probably have the same type of tubes in it, similar anyway, and so I may need to check some of those. So one of these days I want to get this set up somewhere so I can just get to it a little easier. Right now it's just up on the shelf in the closet there, and it's not really easy to get to. So, but anyway, that's going to do it for this. I didn't really do anything that I could see that really caused any difference, but like I said, cleaning the sockets the best I could with those brushes, I guess that helped. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine, but it worked perfectly. Like I said, it showed all the tubes that were good and showed the one that was, well, marginal at best in the yellow. So I can't get no better than that. So, all right, that's going to do this segment. So we'll see what's next. All right, well, we are back again with our final segment of this video, I believe. And what we are doing is taking a closer look at the RCA. As I told you, after the tube tester was fixed, I was going to go work on this. So, and that's what I'm doing. So for this first part of the disassembly, I took the case off, Very similar to the 66X1 two-piece two-way screwing into the cabinet, and one goes into the chassis, and there's a separate plate on the bottom of this, and so all that was all too familiar, and got that figured out, and got it off. And so you can see, I don't have the best lighting here. Let's see if I can get some better lighting for you. There you go. There's your volume control. I'm not really sure what these are, but I did see them in the pictures on the schematic as well. But I'll check them out. Figure it out later on. But anyway, there. Let's go down a little bit. There's your filter cap right there. I don't know. I haven't seen any. Obviously, that's a replacement because I know they wouldn't have done this for the factory. So anyway, there's that. And go down a little bit further. There's a range switch down here. And all that stuff. Quite a few wax paper capacitors to change, it looks like. And that'll be fun. No, I don't see a lot of the rubber wire. I do see some of it. There's one right there. This is basically from the same time period as the other one, the 66X1. So I probably will, have some stuff on it that is similar. So what I plan to do here, I think, for our first little troubleshooting segment is to take the BDSI, inject a signal at the high side of the volume control, and if that proves to go through and come out the speaker, it will give us a good indication that the audio is not the problem with this radio. And I haven't actually plugged this in to verify the previous owner's what he said about it. He said there was no sound at all, so that could mean a lot of that could mean a lot of different things, like crashing on the floor of some boards and things. But anywho, that's that. So let me get set up for that, and we'll plug it in and see what happens. Alright, well, now you can see what the real problem is. I don't know how I did not notice this. There's 1, 2, 3. All of the tube sockets are empty. There's a tube socket there. They're all empty. There's 7 tubes in this radio supposedly, and I have none. So that would be the root cause of no radio, no audio. So just goes to show you, you need to do a good visual inspection before you get in there and start poking around, I guess. I failed to do that, and that's a basic troubleshooting step. And like I said, when I picked the or pulled the cabinet off of the radio, I didn't pay any attention, and I just set it up on its end to look at the bottom of it, and I got all involved in trying to figure out, what was what under there, and just didn't even bother to check up here to see if there is no tubes. So that's probably going to do this radio until I get tubes, obviously. Not much you can do with it. Probably could take off the plate there and see if there's any saving that. I thought at first that was glass, but I think it is plastic. So that should be easy enough to hopefully either polish up or get a new one of the two. I think this is just clear plastic, I believe, and I think all the writing is underneath on the whatever this is down here, and I believe that's the way it works. So hopefully, if it is, then I can get this all done. If the numbers are in the plastic, then that's going to be a different story. But anywho, that's that. So, like I said, I'll cut this short. I cut out all the stuff of me doing what I was doing, and because it didn't really matter, with no tubes, it was never going to work anyway. So, all right, that's going to do me. Like I said, you guys have a great day. Thank you so very much for watching, and we do appreciate that. And we will see you